Just when you thought your day really sucked.
You suck.
Here comes something to make it suck even more. It's a Lamont and Tonelli podcast.
Paul, this to me was amazing, and I've got to give you credit because when this happened, and I'm talking about the airplane that went down at SFO, you were all over it. You knew these guys' names. You knew exactly what they did, and you were the one that kind of shed the light on the story to me. I said, "Wow, that is absolutely mind-boggling."
Yeah, to get the first-hand accounts of what happened a week ago Saturday on July 6th at
when
SFO.
This plane crashed at SFO.
And a couple of the San Francisco PD officers at SFO were among the first responders, and we have two of them in the studio. Lieutenant Gaetano Caltagirone.
Wow, that's pretty good pronunciation.
Or you nailed it.
And Officer Jim, I can't pronounce his last name, though.
Cunningham.
Cunningham? Officer Jim Cunningham in the studio, and these guys...
Heroes.
Amazing work among a number of other people that they responded to the scene with, and I don't even know how to get this started, but... You guys, kudos for all the work you did, along with the other people who responded.
So you guys were there, like the first guys on the scene. How did this happen?
Well, it all started with our canine union, Officer Brown. He was out breaking his dog out on the runway out there, and all of a sudden he calls Code 33, which means clear channels. Mm-hmm. And he says, a plane just crashed, a 777 plane just crashed. And as he's broadcasting this, one of the engines is actually coming towards him, and he just kept his calm and his cool.
Are you kidding me?
He was on the tarmac, actually out in that area walking the dogs.
Yes, he was.
Whoa.
Wow.
So what was your first response? And this is Officer Caltagirone here, but...
Hold it. Now, where are you guys located when this happens at the time? Where were you at the time? Were you at the airport?
I was at the airport. I'm the lieutenant of police there. I was in my office, and I heard it. And I have a big window that you could oversees everything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see the crash.
Right.
And I go, holy
crap.
Okay, thanks. We'll clean that up for you. Yeah. So you're in your office. You see this, and Officer Cunningham. What did you see? How did you get involved with this?
Well, I heard Officer Jeff Brown, calling it out. So I looked outside I was inside one of the terminal buildings.
Yeah.
The private jet one right near the airfield.
Yeah.
I look outside, turn around, and see smoke and dirt flying up in the air.
Right.
And that's kind of like this comment you just made, going through my head, like, holy, you know what?
Yeah.
And then it's, oh my God. And I turned around and knew I had to get out in the airfield. And luckily, there's an ambulance happened to be sitting there right next to me, pulling up.
Right.
So I grabbed them, brought them down the airfield with me.
Right. So now you guys were, how quick did you guys get to the airplane?
We got there immediately with fire, and that was I think what saved a lot of people's lives.
So how many were there that showed up immediately like you two? How many were with you?
My whole crew, my whole day watch, we were about 12 officers, and they all responded immediately, plus with fire.
Yeah.
And then everybody just went to work like a fine-tuned motor.
So you guys get to the wreck,
Yeah.
And what happened when you first got to the scene?
Yeah.
Well, Officer Cunningham was there prior to me, so Jim.
Oh, so you're like the first guy there.
Yeah, I was the first guy there, and it was crazy because people were running all over the place. Some people even had their luggage.
That's the part. I saw a picture of this, and it's mind-boggling to me. If I was standing behind a guy on an airplane and he was grabbing his luggage, I think I'd cold cock them and run right over them.
Yeah, they're talking on their cell phones, walking away casual.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And some people want to come back and get their luggage. I couldn't believe it.
Really? So now you show up and there's people walking out with their luggage. How many people are off the plane by the time you guys get there?
I couldn't really tell because there's so much chaos, but there's a large group of people walking around.
Right.
And people are still coming off the slides or the chutes too.
Slides or once they got off the airplane, they didn't run too far. They just kind of lingered around.
They just stood there, and as opposed to just like, holy crap, let me run away from this thing.
I would have run away right away.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's mulling around there. So another officer, Derek Lee, and Officer Stu Mulver.
Yeah.
And we just ran. Each of us did different things, but me and another officer just ran up to the chutes where the flight attendants were.
Yeah.
And so you went up the chutes into the plane.
How do you go up the chute?
I didn't go up the chute initially there.
Yeah.
I guess somebody was trapped, so they asked us for our pocket knives.
Yeah.
So we gave them our pocket knives to the flight crew to cut some people out.
Yeah.
Then after they said everybody was off the plane, and we ran back for safety.
Yeah.
And all the fuel was starting to dump out of the airplane.
Oh.
Right.
And then I saw the back of the plane; it was missing. And then I saw there's people still in the back.
Yeah.
And so I just
hold
ran
it. So
towards
you ran into the airplane after the airline crew said that it was all clear.
Yes.
But you saw people were in the plane, and you ran into the plane when it was on fire.
Yeah, in the back. Of
So now, did Jim talk to you about going back into the plane?
No, what happened is when I arrived on scene, I'm looking around, and all my officers are out doing something, and they're doing the best job ever that I could even acknowledge as a boss. And I look down at the tail end, and I see Officer Cunningham helping out the fire department, pulling out bodies from the back of the plane.
Right.
And I'm trying to see, is there any other cop there with him? And I don't see anybody. I go, I better make my way down there. So I start running across the field towards him.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're both in the airplane as he's trying to make a path for the fire department and himself to pull people out because the seats were all smashed in and the compartments were all in. So he's ripping out seats, handing it to me, and I'm throwing them out. And he's ripping off paneling and
to try to clear a path to get out of the plane, is what you're saying?
Try to get people out of the plane as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And there's this one individual, I recall, he was just trapped in the seat, this elderly male. He was trapped in the seat looking back at us, and we kind of looked at each other and said, we got to get this guy out.
Wow.
So was it filling up with smoke at this time? Did the fire hadn't started yet?
No, there's a fire, but the fire department was spraying water on the fuselage, keeping it cool down.
Yeah.
But then they were kind of losing the battle.
Yeah.
And then that's when the black smoke started forming and coming down.
And you were still in the plane at the time?
Yeah, we were in the plane. You could hear the crackling, and I was like right at the doorway, in and out. And
are you guys like wearing masks or anything like this?
No.
Whoa, my God.
So wasn't there a point where Officer Cunningham said he was going back into the plane, and you were just like, great.
While we were doing all this, I would look up and you would see the flames just ignite and the black smoke going and the fire department throwing the foam on there, and then it would dissipate and then it would start back up, and I was going, okay, we got to get out of here soon. We got to get out of here soon. So we finally cleared everybody out, and you heard that crackling and the popping and the smell, and we're looking at each other, and then we go, it's time to go, and we get out. And then we go, I think, did we get everybody out? Did we get everybody out? And Jim goes, I don't know. And all of a sudden, he turns around and runs back in.
Oh!
And I go, here we go again.
Oh, my God.
So
when you went back in, was there anyone back in the plane? Or everyone was out?
Well,
no,
Jim swore to me, and I was told I said a few choice words to Jim to make sure that we got everybody out. And he said, yes, we got everybody out. And then the fire started erupting again, and we go, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
It was
so even the crazy Irishman knew it was time to leave when it was time to leave.
Yeah, the knucklehead Sicilian was sticking around.
So I understood that there was a young person, I don't know if it was a toddler or something like that, also stuck between seats near the back of the plane. Is that right, or did I get that story wrong?
I didn't remember a toddler being, but there was two younger kids who were about 20 feet out of the plane.
Yeah,
they were brother and sister that I assisted. His sister might have had a broken leg, so I threw her on my back, and their little brother didn't have any shoes or socks.
Yeah,
and the grasses they're all pinchy, so I had the little sister on my back, and I grabbed the brother by hand and I started carrying him across the field. And luckily, somebody says, hey, there's the airport safety officer has a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So I just walked about 20 feet out and then came back, and I put him in the truck so they could try to reunite with their parents.
And wasn't there an elderly guy that needed assistance with a board or something like that? Did he have a bum leg or?
A lot of them are back injuries, so we're trying to get backboards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like one of the last people to get out of
all of this while the plane is burning.
Yes.
Yeah, at that point, he was on the ground, and we didn't have enough backboards at the moment. And we're going, do we need to just pick them up? The last thing we want to do is pick them up and cause more damage. But we're going, the grass is there, the fire's starting. We go, do we just risk it? And right when we're about to pick them up and move them, somebody goes, we got a backboard. And we put them on the backboard, and we got them out.
Wow. I'll tell you what, the police and firemen, you guys, to me, are heroes. And, Paul, these guys have earned it. We're going to give them a free T-shirt.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
It was all worth it, wasn't it?
Spread the word. If you guys are heroic, you get T-shirts from us.
Gaetano, did you want to mention a few people too? Or?
I want to mention a couple of San Francisco firefighters that were on scene. Lieutenant Dave Monteverdi and Lieutenant Christy Emmons and firefighter Mike Kirk. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They were actually in the plane also, and they risked their lives, and as without even a second thought, and that's just amazing.
They need a better press agent. You guys are all over the place.
Again, it's the Sicilian thing.
Irishman and Sicilian.
But also, we just found out this morning there's also a blood drive at the San Francisco airport today in Terminal 3 in the baggage claim area between 9 and 3. And it's sponsored by the San Francisco Airport Peninsula Blood Drive in Stanford. So if you're nearby or anything and you want to stop by to donate blood, I think that would be a great cause.
All right, guys.
9 to 3 today.
Yeah, thanks for coming in here. Unbelievable.
Thank you for having us.
Unbelievable
Thanks for having
story.
us.
Absolutely. Thanks, you guys.
Another fine product from Uranus. That concludes the Lamont and Tonelli podcast. To hear more and everything Lamont and Tonelli, check out the website at lntworld.com.